So let's talk about, let's say if I were to create a Beastly resource about live streaming. I haven't done this yet specifically about live streaming, but I wanted to demo this. I literally didn't know I was going to do this, so I'll be doing this live with you, right? So the way that I would start would be thinking about, okay, I want to create a resource about live streaming. And I want to see if I can own that. Now, one of the first things I like to do is do keyword research related to these things. And a very simple way to do this is to just simply go to a couple places. I'm going to go to Google. And I'm going to type in live streaming. And I'm just going to see what pops up here. I'm not even going to click enter. And these become notes that I take, right? So I'm going to write some of these things down. Again, this is research. I'm not putting anything together right now. But there is live streaming services. Let's see, software, platforms, camera, on YouTube. So there's some that sort of relate, like these two kind of relate to each other. Software and services sort of relate to each other. Camera and equipment. Okay, so now that we're here, I'm going to press enter. And I'm going to scroll all the way down because I want to see what's also related. These down here become very important to me as well. So I'm going to write some of these down. Live streaming websites. And a lot of them are similar too. Now, I'll go a little bit further because I want people to, when they come to this, understand how to live stream, right? So I'm going to do the same exact exercise. How to start live streaming. Now I see some more things pop up, right? On Twitch, on YouTube, which we already wrote down, on PC, games, Discord, which is a sort of Slack-like audio-based channel, Instagram. Okay. So now I'm just essentially pulling keywords and things that help me start to organize these things. So I am already seeing that a blog post that I might be able to create would be something like starting with, what is, and then getting into a little bit about the software, and then platforms, equipment, also what to live stream, which goes into gaming that I saw. I also saw church services down here. So then this particular part of that article, or I can create individual articles about each of these things that tie into a much larger live streaming thing, right? And then I also often will include tips or mistakes. These are really, really attractive. 10 tips to get better at live streaming. Mistakes. I also want to know who else, like who are the authorities on live streaming. So what I'll do on Google here is I'll type in live streaming tips, and I'll see who is actually sharing this stuff, right? So I see 40 live streaming tips to make your broadcast better, live streaming tips. So here's Nick Nimmin, who's a good person that I've seen, livestream.com, Social Sprout. I'm not really getting the who here, but essentially if you've gone through Smart from Scratch, we're doing a similar type of exercise as the market map, right? We want to understand the people. We've figured out the places, but now we want to do the people. And then we also want to talk about the programs or the things that people might need to buy, which is where we can get a lot of affiliate income, right? If I have, for example, an article about live streaming software, I can then have certain affiliate links. And in fact, I've done something similar. I haven't put these together. I have pieces of them, right? I have the Ecamm live video. I have this page here on my website, patflynn.com/live setup. Now I can just begin to essentially rearrange patflynn.com/live setup no dash. So for example here, I wanted to create a really helpful resource about live streaming equipment, right? So this could be, for example, chapter 3 in a more bigger series about live streaming that can help me sort of own this a little bit more, right, as a resource. So this post here, as you can see, thank you for the super chat, hey Archer, appreciate you. Let's see, so this goes into the software that I use. This goes into the camera setup, the audio, the lighting. As you can see, I embedded a YouTube video that was a older review of a box that I use. This is the Rodecaster Pro. Lighting, I also go a little bit deeper into lighting as well. So this is the lighting that you're seeing legit right now, using a shirt almost of the same color. So this is overhead lights, turn that off, put in this aperture light that I have and link to and actually make money from by posting it here. And then so this is the view you see now. And that's the setup that you see right here. As you can see, hello, right there. That's me without a beard, which is really weird. And then just, again, this is like the de facto guide of, live streaming equipment, which can be part of a de facto guide on live streaming. So I've already have one piece, essentially, right? If that makes sense. I also have that YouTube video that I mentioned earlier, youtube.com, and then eCam Live. So this, in and of itself, to create a dream stream. By the way, please hook people in your pillar content, in your videos, or any pieces of your pillar content, these additional subchapters. Please hook people in. Don't forget about your basic foundational things when it comes to content creation. For example, here's the hook here. So right now you're looking at my regular camera view. However, if we push this out just now you should see all the things I have at my disposal on my desktop that I see when I broadcast live. And when I conduct my live streams on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch or others, now I have access to making it the most entertaining, informative, and engaging live stream possible. And I want to offer that to you too. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use a tool called eCam Live, which at this moment in time is just Mac only. I do have resources for PC users below too in the description, but I want to show you how to use these tools from all things like how to anyway, sorry, I got lost in there a little bit. But hopefully this is helpful to see how you can start to create like pieces of this ahead of time, right? So planning becomes an important part of this. My favorite strategy for understanding and planning this, and what I would do next after a little bit of this keyword research, is I would dive into, okay, well, what about live streaming should I even consider, right? So I'm not going to use Post-it notes right now because I don't want to waste paper, but I'm going to do some exercises here on the iPad right now. Let's just create a new layer, and I'm just going to brainstorm, right? I'm just going to brainstorm. I might do, software, like I said, right? Software, or I might do, structure for a show. I might just interaction and engagement, just whatever comes to mind, because our brains do a good job of coming up with ideas, but a terrible job of actually putting order to them. So let's do B-roll. How do I add B-roll in a live stream? Or how do I add music and audio? How do I add sound effects, right? Let's add computer requirements. What else about live streaming? Displaying comments. Again, they could be big, they could be small. How to manage comments. Then we get into getting viewers. How do we let people know? Schedule. How do we get more? How do we repurpose? Where do we repurpose? How? Where? So again, I'm just writing all these things down. I could keep going, but I'm not going to do that right now, because what I'm going to do is start showing you that there's going to be patterns, right? There's going to be patterns, right? So when I think about, okay, interaction, engagement, managing comments, displaying comments, these become components of, an article that I could write, or a section of a much larger article that I could write about the people who are watching, right? There could be one specifically about, getting viewers and repurposing, so getting more traffic to your stuff. Then I can go into another one specifically about, the actual part of the show itself. So structure for a show, maybe, and as you're doing this, you might get more ideas, right? Like topics or Q&A. That's that. I might have something specific to, I need more colors. So computer requirements and software, right? And platforms, right? So look at this now. Now I see, some purple here. I'm seeing some red here. This becomes an article. These green ones become an article. And now I can begin to organize this. And this is why I like Post-it notes, because I can just like rip off the Post-it note, put them together. And these things become the individual parts or chapters of these pillar posts that you might be writing. I always use this when I'm writing books, the same exact thing, to create this outline and to create the chapters. Oh, all these things belong in this chapter. Oh, all these things belong in this chapter. And now I can create order to them as well. The other thing that I would recommend you do is look at the other things that are out there already that talk about this thing, right? So if I'm just using this as an example. I'm going to go to the computer and I'm going to type in how to live stream. And I'm going to go and find the top articles. So this one seems to be a big guide, or the number one, like a big ranked guide. So as you can see, this is their pillar post about this, right? They almost share the how-to, the videos, and then configuring this stuff. And a lot of this stuff seems a little bit more advanced, encoders and whatnot. But as you can see, this is a great article, and they probably bring people to their products as a result of that. But hey, they know as a company how important this is too. You see, these images are great. The step-by-step process is great. So my goal coming in here would be, okay, how can I make my live streaming beastly resource, my pillar content, better than theirs? If I can make it better, more noteworthy, more shareable, more linkable, it's eventually going to, Google will know. Google will eventually follow, right? But I have to do better. I want to have a better hook. I want to have better images. I want to have a much easier to read and a much more flowy step-by-step article. This is the way that you get better, right? Best practices, planning guide. This is great. I love the ideas that are coming in. Hopefully it's good to see the example that I just kind of shared with you. I love the color coordination for items that go together. This is fantastic. It's so difficult to put everything together in a cohesive manner. Great. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. This is something that, again, does not happen overnight. Rome was not built in a day. And your website and its pillar content will not happen overnight. This takes planning. So what I would recommend you do from this point forward, and then I'll answer some questions in the remaining 20 minutes here. And again, this is just a high-level view about this, but hopefully this specific example showed you how I would approach this. And then I would take in each individual post note, essentially, or each individual topic, and then just put the blinders on. And in my writing, whenever I have extra time, just focus on that, or shoot a video to talk about that topic, right? And the cool thing is on YouTube, these subtopics, like this this might be a video. Like this part could be a video. And here is part one of creating a good topic title to go along with this would make sense, right? Like, for example, 5 tricks to get live viewers to stick around, or to stop live viewers from leaving, or something like that, right? So then I can go, okay, trick number 1 would be to, engage. Here's some different ways that you can engage. Step number 2, display your comments as you are going, because that's how you can, like I'm doing right now, show people that you're actually paying attention to them, and you can address people, and it adds a little bit of pattern interrupt within something visual that people can watch too, right? Number 3, 3 ways to interact with your audience. These 2 things I'm seeing are very similar though. So again, this helps you break things down so you can have better focus while writing. So you're not coming at it with a position that a lot of us have, which is, okay, this is the topic I want to write about. I'm going to write the beastly resource. I'm going to create the best thing about it. Where do I even start, right? Break it down into smaller chunks so that you can create something. And then when you publish this thing, make a big deal about it, right? In fact, on SPI, we've stopped creating weekly blog post content. I don't know if you've noticed, but for about 10 plus years, we've written content that has been published on the website every single week. For 4 or 5 years, it was just me. Then I hired a team. We were able to get even more consistent. I was able to take myself out of the process more, and it became a machine, right? A content creation machine. We have over 1,600 posts on the website. However, we've completely stopped publishing weekly content in lieu of this strategy, which is we want every piece of content that comes out on the blog to be something that when it does come out, people go bonkers about it. They get excited about it.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream. All while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.